I'm totally ready for that video of the Oscars. Now I'm only a month late. Ready Player One came out March 29th, which was last Thursday, directed by God himself, Steven Spielberg. I mean, guys, let's be real here. He's God, okay? There's no need to debate this. We all know the truth. There's no need to debate. It's God. God made this movie, okay? I went to go see it on the day of release with all my friends for one last time, and I'll explain why by the end of this video, but here's what I thought about the movie. Sure, I didn't even need to talk about it. I mean, this year is pretty much going to be just overflowing with, like, all these ridiculously big blockbusters is what I'm going to call all of them, because every single one of them is going to be like that. Like, if one of these flops somehow, like, I'm going to really be questioning our audiences and what they're really doing on their free time for just to be skipping some of these films that are coming out. And Ready Player One was pretty much the second one to come with it, with Black Panther. But I know it's Steven Spielberg. I mean, I think I've only mentioned him, unfortunately, with Star Wars, but I mean, if I haven't made it obvious enough, he's practically, like, my favorite filmmaker, like, ever. Like, I can watch any movie of his, like, even the ones that people, like, will go insane and, like, think it's the worst thing since, like, the coming of Hitler or something. I could even watch them and think they're decent, guys. Come on, you're being too hard on this. And that's the point. Like, there's literally, like, no film that this guy makes that literally puts me down. Like, every single one of them brings me joy. Like, he is pretty much responsible, in my opinion, for the modern era that we all live in. So it just comes to show, like, there's no way he was not going to direct a fucking Ready Player One, a movie literally based about pop culture. And, of course, me being the geek-loving addict that I am, and literally talking about nothing but movies, video games, music, and anything I can for 24 hours a day, I was going to go watch it. It didn't last longer. The movie was just a roller coaster of excitement and emotions and just fandom of, like, the ultimates of every kind. Like, I think I'm going to be spending a whole year of my life just trying to just pinpoint every single Easter egg in this movie. If you even go on YouTube itself, you can notice every video on Ready Player One is just trying to get as many Easter eggs out there. I think, like, the highest I've seen so far is, like, by IGN, 181, and they still even admit it's not enough. And it's true, I saw them, I noticed more than they did. It's gonna be it. And that's not a bad thing. Like, that's what makes it so fun. That's the ridiculousness of it. Like, it's never gonna end. Like, there's always gonna be something weird, like, maybe something a character says or the way they move that is gonna be an Easter egg or something. We don't even notice it for, like, the end of millennia. That's pretty much what this movie is at its finest. So the whole point is, it's in the future where the world has already pretty much gone to shit. Pretty much what we're expecting in a good 20 years. If this whole government shit keeps going on. I'm not gonna get political. And then what happens is that the world becomes chaos. We're in Columbus, Ohio, where everyone's pretty much homeless at this point, or just extremely in poverty and living in this RV trucks of towers. Is that everyone's poor, and the only way to escape is what we've all been pretty much doing for the last millennia, is pop culture. And by pop culture, we mean movies, games, music, and it's all pretty much all been packed up into one little thing that we call VR, or what they call in their world the Oasis. How did I fuck that up? The Oasis. However, despite all the fun and clear mention about all that crap, the problem is, when you go into the real world, not that it's not terrible, or that it's terrible, but it's not really explained that much. It's almost very brief. Like, pretty much everything I just said about what the world's become is pretty much the way it's explained. The world's gone to shit, and why? It just went to shit. It just happened. Let's just assume they're trying to get political and assume us to blame Donald fucking Trump or North Korean guys or, I don't know, fucking Russian. Something. Let's just assume it was human beings altogether. I mean, we're not perfect here anyway. Because of that, like most critics have already said themselves, God, I can't speak, that when you go into the human world, aside from all the jokes that they make, you know, when all the crazy shit that they can do in the Oasis isn't obviously as cool as it looks in real life. I mean, there's this one scene that probably the only thing I'll ever spoil is literally this fat elderly woman pole dancing while they're showing all the people's households while they're on the Oasis. And it's meant to show, of course, how ridiculous everything looks in real life. And that's pretty much it. Aside from that, you don't really care too much about the real world, which should be super interesting. I mean, it's clearly just screaming out Blade Runner jokes all around of how the world's gone to shit and everything just become clearly just commercial and just to sell stuff to you. None of it's really explored too much. I'm not, in defense, I'm not even sure if they explored too much in the book either, because I have read the book. I've read as much as I can, but I never 100% finished it, and I really just watch summaries on YouTube. Don't judge me. I don't have fucking I barely have time to upload videos. You want me to finish a whole book? I really should, though. And also a really big part of this movie that really still confuses me till today, even after it's been like, what, 5 days since I saw the movie, is specifically the ending, which is pretty much the other big criticism I have. I never understood specifically, mainly with the bad guy and the, you know, the good crew, the good guys, but this big decision that the bad guy made that you all notice when you watch the movie, I still don't get why he did it. As weird as that sounds, like, I don't understand the reasoning for it. is what's really been confusing me. I really never understood the point of that. I was so confused. I don't know how to explain it. That's pretty much another big flaw I ever had of this movie. And this is where pretty much the rest of the film is just pretty much a fest of awesomeness. I mean, there's not one scene when you're in the Oasis that you're bored. Because like I said, it's just... I've been talking so much and messing up this whole video because I want to make it clear how ridiculous this movie is in the best way possible, where it's like the fun never ends when you're... I can watch it, I feel like now 20, 30 times. I've only seen it once, and I feel like I still won't get every single point or little fun Easter egg in this movie, because that's the whole point of it. It's these kids, just like us on YouTube ourselves when we talk about this stuff, just obsessed with pop culture, whether you have one on film or comic books or your own little weird fetish shit, and it's all just in one little world, and it's just for everyone to enjoy, and it's just absolute fun for everyone. And that's the crazy thing that I first thought the downfall of this movie would be when I watched it, because of course, as a lover of film, I have to understand that not everybody's a ginormous geek like I am and will get absolutely every single reference. I don't want to be that DC fanboy. I'm never doing that roast again. I'm gonna get killed for that. I don't want to be that kind of kid who just hates everybody else for hitting on their movie just because they read the comics or something and nobody else gets it because, oh, how dare they not have time, which is pretty much what I do. But the whole point is that with that, I thought, maybe not everyone else is gonna get it. But I noticed that throughout the whole movie, since there's literally something for everyone, you're all gonna get it no matter what. Like, that's the whole point, and that's the fun of it. Even if you don't care about pop culture at all, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, I shouldn't even assume that you're watching this video for a fucking reason. Of course, and I haven't praised the man enough, of course, this being a Spielberg-directed film, there is already, I didn't even have to mention them, but just in case, there are endless moments of just eye-candy, eye-gasm experiences where it's just like this. It's like if you're just entering into a regular house and it's just a plain old nothing, and he still somehow makes it exciting and just amazing. You're never bored. That's the point. And of course, now that I mentioned the music, I'm not fucking up this time with that, by the way. This soundtrack was meant to be actually composed, believe it or not, by John Williams, which you all know what I think about John Williams. Just go watch my Star Wars review. I don't want to dwell enough as I already have. But believe it or not, because of him already being busy with the post, apparently, he decided he couldn't have time to be able to fully work on this film, so I decided not to do it, or at least as far as I know, because on Google he's still mentioned, so I assume maybe he sort of worked on it a little bit, and he's like, nah, I'll give it, you can keep whatever scraps I had left that I could work on. And they gave it instead to Alan Silvestri, which is pretty much like the second coming of John Williams anyway, so it's almost like no difference, in a good way. I love the guy, I love both of them, they're all amazing. Ready Player One, obviously, to me, is a fantastic movie, not necessarily perfect, I already mentioned my biggest criticisms. At its finest, it's just an amazing, fun adventure story with kids just doing what us nerds love the best, exploring their pop culture, and even fighting for all that is good, with the name of Ninja Turtles, fucking Star Wars, and anything that I can mention, maybe Mario, Atari. If I'm gonna keep going on for generations, I don't want to make that. Fuck it, let's do it. No, I'm not gonna do it. So I've really thought about this really hard because I didn't want to be too nice to this movie because, like I said, I don't think it's necessarily perfect. So right now, I feel safe with giving this film a well-deserved, in my opinion, 8.5 out of 10. An above great film, just a great amount of laugh and fun and just enjoyment for everybody with touching characters. Honestly, I didn't want to make it look like they were terrible. Great fun, great characters, just great, beautiful cinematography. I mean, when you're in the Oasis, it's just endless fun. And the music, pop culture, Easter eggs is just the fluff that just adds a nice little icing to the cake. That's the best way I can put it. I mean, I don't know what else I can say, guys. Maybe when I stream one of these days, because I gotta get back to that somehow, I'll explain more. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much my Ready Player One review. This is a lot of fun to do. Hope you all enjoyed the movie as much as I did. I could have been rambling on for long enough. And as usual, I can't believe I'm saying, wow, it's been that long. I hope you all have a great day. Wow, how long it's been since I said that. See you guys. And then there's Batman, but it's the Adam West Batman. There's Halo. There's the Atari 2600. I think my friend mentioned that there was what was it, Thundercats? I remember that. There's Pac-Man, and there's all the 80s music. The main character had Han Solo's belt, so I'll count that. What the fuck am I doing, man?